Yay, we're live.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Legends by Night.
Good morning.
In case you aren't familiar with the show, this is a show where we talk about a lot of crazy, fucked up shit, from the paranormal to the preternatural to the supernatural and everything weird in between.
Everything natural.
Yeah. And tonight is about glitches in the Matrix and Mandela effects. I'm going to kick us off with probably the most, in my opinion, the most widely known one, which would be the Bernstein Bears. The Bernstein Bears. There's so many different versions of this that people remember and swear that it's been changed. And it was the one that I had read about that when I found out about what the Mandela effect even was, when it was first becoming a thing people spoke about. So, what do you guys remember it as?
Well, okay, what it's known for, the question is, when it comes to Mandela, do you guys remember him dying in prison, or do you guys remember him getting out and leading a life and getting into government?
I remember him dying in prison.
It's funny because I don't even think that I was aware of who Nelson Mandela was until after the whole thing. So I don't remember him dying in prison just because. But I think that that's where the Mandela effect comes from, because people couldn't remember if he died in prison or not. But I don't think he did die in prison.
No, he did not.
People are remembering it incorrectly. For the Berenstain Bears, it's funny that you should lead off with that one, Raz, because I remember, and this is not Mandela effect. This is something I do actually remember when I was in grade school, in elementary school. I would get the Berenstain Bears books from the library. I did read them.
Yep.
But now looking back on it, for the life of me, I cannot remember how it was spelled.
Do you remember how it was spelled when you were young, Jenny?
In all actuality, I could have thought that it was the Berenstein, not the Berenstain. But I have so many Berenstein, Baron whatever books they are, that my brain just has them all running together now.
I remember Berenstein. That's the one I remember, and I mean, I had the books and stuff, but there was just one that they did, which was so wild at the time. It was a scratch and sniff book about them making a pizza together, and like they had like you could actually smell like the garlic and the onions and the tomatoes, and like every page was like a different ingredient. And like that book, I carried that fucking thing around and scratched it until there was nothing left to sniff. It was just a dead cardboard book at that point in time, and I swore because of sense memory that I could still smell the pages. And one day my mom picked it up. She's like, "I'm throwing this away." Why? She's like, "It just smells like cardboard."
See, that's why I'm wondering if the Mandela effect is related to a glitch in the matrix, because maybe it was that one way first off, but then there was a glitch in the matrix and it changed. And now people
Yeah.
remember it incorrectly because it was actually correct at one time until the glitch in the matrix changed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. People believe that there's either a glitch in the matrix or part of the people that remember it one way shifted timelines
Hmm.
Okay, so here's
and
a
they
question
joined
for
the
you.
new timeline.
So here's a question for you. And chronologically, you could probably go back and figure this one out. But this is kind of a which came first, the chicken or the egg? Did the Mandela effect come first, or did the glitch in the matrix come first?
I think Glitch in the Matrix because people had been talking about that in its own way well before even Nelson Mandela was around. Like there's stories that go back to like they didn't always necessarily call it the specific words "glitch in the Matrix," but the definition of what that is has been discussed for centuries.
Well, glitch in the matrix, I think the phrase actually comes from the movie The Matrix. And I mean, you can
Mhm.
pinpoint an exact release date on when The Matrix came out.
Yeah,
So,
it was
technically, that would be the origin of the glitch in the matrix phrase, even if there might have been some version of it before that
yeah,
movie came out. But I don't know what it was, which, could have
seeing
been
behind the
a version
curtain
of
is
the
what it
Mandela
used to be
effect.
called. That was
What's
the
that?
popular
Yeah.
term was seeing behind the curtain before it became Glitch in the
Seeing
Matrix.
behind the curtain. That's
Hmm.
right.
Yep.
Because the one that I remember coming before that, not getting in religion, just the misremembrance.
Right.
There's a lot of people that keeps talking about the lion laying down with the lamb,
I've heard that
and them
too.
talking about in the book it says the lion laying, not the but the wolf's laying down with the lamb
Yeah,
instead. So
I have heard that one
that
too.
is,
Hmm.
Like
and
back to Mandela for a second, like we did a song about him in prison and suffering and all this stuff, like in choir. And we got back together as adults, like long after we graduated, and did that same song and repeated it again. And I swear, in that song, it doesn't say how it ends, how it ends for him, but the way that song goes, it seems like he definitely died. So maybe that's why I remember in my brain that he died
Mhm,
in prison because that song when I was a kid, then singing again as an adult, like it was so dark and it was all about like letting him, getting him released. Like you need to let him go. He's been falsely imprisoned, and the way that song ends just always gave me the vibe that he was dead. So
mhm.
maybe that's why I remember it the way I remember it. That and drugs, lots and lots and lots of drugs.
I'm fairly certain that he was only in prison for I think like 27 years, not even like a full 30 or something, but
Only
something, I think between 20 and 30 years. I think it was 27, but I'm fairly certain he was released after that 27 years. I
Mhm.
think, and I mean I could probably look this up, but find pictures of him with politicians after his prison
Mhm.
release date.
We can find pictures with him.
So he didn't
Uh,
die in prison if there are pictures of
no, he
him.
didn't. No, we have proof that he lived and
I mean he's
he
dead
went back
now,
into
but
pol Yeah, no, we have proof that he lived after he got out of prison, but
Every time I hear Mandela effect, I always want to say Mandelbrot effect, but that's a fractal of a different picture.
yes.
my next favorite Mandela effect is a movie.
Ooh,
Oh
which
boy.
Do
movie?
you guys know which one I'm going to mention? Shazam.
Yeah.
The movie Shazam with Sinbad, where he played a genie.
Yes.
Now, people have gone to, I'm talking insane fucking lengths on the internet. They've reproduced, like, they've created, like, artwork and printed it on VHS boxes as proof that it was a thing. Some people claim that, like, they found it at a yard sale. Some people claim that, oh, no, that was, somebody just made that shit to fuck with everybody. Like, there's no definitive on that. But, like, even he's come out and said at one point in time that he remembers it. Then other times, no, I was just screwing with you. It isn't a thing, and I was never in that movie. And then when the Shazam movie came out during COVID and stuff, they did this like early peek at Shazam 2 with the cast, like on in a video thing. And he was actually in it. He was like, "Oh, this is for Shazam. I remember being in this movie." And then all the members of the Shazam superhero movie showed up, and he was like, "Oh wait, wrong movie." And he pretty much dips out. But it was just one of those weird things. But I swear, like I remember the Shaq one, Kazam. I remember Kazam. Definitely
Mhm.
has its
That's
own
the
thing.
one I was thinking about, the one with Shaq.
Yeah,
And
and
I
that's
thought it was called Kazam, but I wasn't sure.
yeah, and I remember that one. But and the thing is, like, I don't necessarily. I'm gonna say that I remember him playing Shazam, but like, he wore like pants that made him look like a genie a
Yeah,
lot
Mhm.
in the 80s and early 90s, a lot. So I
like the
get
Hammer
where,
Pants.
yeah, he straight up wore and made even more popular than MC Hammer did those kind of pants. Like that was his look and the hoop earrings. So I get where the gypsy vibe or genie vibe comes from people, and I could see the name Kazam thinking Shazam, but I don't recall seeing him in a movie called Shazam. And I've seen all his movies. Like,
What does IMDb say? Is it listed in his credits?
no.
No.
Huh.
But people would have you believe that that was wiped out or from again a different timeline.
Glitch in the Matrix.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at some more examples and stuff. Oh, Mickey
Okay.
Mouse.
Did Mickey Mouse?
No, go ahead.
Did Curious George have a tail?
Oh, I forgot about the Curious George and the tail thing.
I
I
believe
swear
he
he had a
did.
tail.
I'm fairly certain he did. Did he?
Like he's a monkey. Why wouldn't he have a fucking tail?
Right. You can hang from trees and
Uh,
grab bananas from the tall yellow guy.
Yeah. Is he not supposed to have had a tail?
according to everything, he doesn't have a tail.
What the fuck?
That makes no
Missed
sense.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe again
True.
he's a monkey, so we just always assumed he had a tail. But I swear to God, he had a tail.
It's like, see, he doesn't
Well,
look
that just
right,
makes me
but
wonder
all the
because they
books,
both look natural. So I don't know which is the actual one.
according to the books my children have, no.
Hmm.
But him not having a tail doesn't also make
This is
sense
trippy.
in my brain.
You know, it
What
doesn't.
a And then there's like Jif peanut butter. Was it Jiffy or Jif?
Jif.
Jif, yeah.
Yeah. What
Yeah, I
about
only
Looney
remember Jif.
Tunes?
What about what?
Looney Tunes.
No, it was Jif
Is
peanut
it
butter,
O?
but Jiffy Pop.
Yeah, those are two different
Popcorn.
things. Yeah. What were you saying now?
Some
Looney Tunes. What
Okay.
about it?
Is it a U or two O's?
Two O's.
For what?
Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes.
2 O's.
Apparently it's a U.
In Tunes or Looney?
No,
Yeah,
definitely.
the tunes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you meant the word loony. I was confused. No,
No.
It's always been a U in tunes. Because
Yeah.
a big part of it is the orchestra backgrounds to all the cartoons and stuff. So it was always.
So I thought it was with the 2 O's for cartoons. You know, they're loony
Yeah.
cartoons. Looney Tunes.
You would think that, but they switched the double O instead to loony and put the U from loony into tunes. It was a whole. I remember them doing like a documentary about this or something, or behind the scenes look or something like back in like the 80s or early 90s where they talked about it. But their music was always like a big deal for all the cartoons.
Oh yeah.
Mickey Mouse. Did he or did he not wear suspenders?
I think originally he did before they gave him the trademark red shorts.
According to this, he never wore suspenders.
See, there you go.
But I swear, and at least Steamboat Willie, I remember him having the suspenders. So maybe they mean like once the red shorts became a thing. Because I do remember some old like black and white ones where he had the suspenders. So I think maybe they mean like once he was colorized and had red shorts, did he still have the suspenders?
Do you know
That's
why
what
Mickey
confusing.
wears gloves?
Why?
It was easier for the animators because since he's all black, they wouldn't be able to differentiate his fingers doing different actions. So if they put gloves on him, then that was less that they had to animate.
I was gonna guess
Hi,
it's so
Tom.
they could hide the evidence when he murdered people, but that works too. Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
What about the cornucopia?
With the cornucopia.
I
I don't
remember the
believe there was
cornucopia.
ever a cornucopia.
I thought there was a cornucopia.
I could have swore there was one too, but there's not.
That's so weird.
Fruit of the Looney Tunes.
Let's see. I'm looking at some. I'm trying to look up some like historical because there's supposed to be like some historic ones as well.
Yeah.
Actually, I just found a
I
big. I
figure
found the
while you're
Bernstein
looking
Bears.
those up,
Oh, here's one. Here's a good one. Mr. Monopoly. One of the most cited examples of the Mandela effect involves Mr. Monopoly, the mascot of the popular board game Monopoly. Did he or did he not have a monocle?
I don't think so. I think the monocle was Mr. Peanut.
I know for a fact he had a monocle. And there was even a reference to him having a monocle in Ace Ventura 2 When Nature Calls.
Yeah.
Because there's an old guy wearing the monocle, literally like holding it up just like this, like the guy from Monopoly.
Mm-hmm.
And Ace Ventura looks and goes, "Hey, look, it's the Monopoly guy."
Mm-hmm.
Like this is literally like an actual scene that exists. So I'm going to call bullshit on this one because they're saying he's misremembered as having a monocle, but he definitely had a monocle. There's no way he didn't have a monocle originally, or at least
I
up
would
until
say
that
he
point.
had a monocle.
What the hell, man?
What about this example?
Oh, C-3PO with the one silver. As a Star Wars fan, I can tell you that those are both real.
I don't recall that one.
Those are both real things that happen in the Star Wars universe.
I know he got taken apart a couple of times, and they had to put him back together. That's probably when he got the part of the silver leg.
They put an all silver version of him out, an all gold version of him about. There was a version where he had the red leg, and the newer one, which was a throwback to when he had the silver leg at one point. So yeah, those like since I'm just talking about the film universe only here.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all those versions have existed at some point in time. So that's a weird one to even be on there.
Yeah, because what I'm finding is many people are swearing that he never had the silver leg. And many people are swearing he only had the silver leg.
No, I don't think so. I don't ever recall him having a silver leg.
He had one briefly. He definitely, but that's not traditional him, no. There's a Snow White one. Let's see, do you remember Mirror Mirror on the Wall or Magic Mirror on the Wall?
Mirror, mirror, I think is what everybody says.
I remember Mirror, Mirror.
That's what I remember is Mirror Mirror on the Wall, but apparently, according to Disney, it's always been Magic Mirror on the Wall. But the thing about this one is there's been way too many pop culture references to this. Way too many for not to have been Mirror Mirror. Even like Disney spoofed stuff and other Disney things have said Mirror Mirror.
Yes.
In relation to this.
Yeah, I think so. Our minds are just glitching, and I'm not even so much if it's a glitch in the matrix or just that we're getting older and there's so much intake of information that all of the gigabytes in our brains are filling up and we have no room for new information to be stored, and we don't have like a hard drive cleaner that we can use on our brain to clear out a lot of the information. It's just all stuck in there.
The defrag.
Yeah.
This one's actually kind of fun to talk about. Oh, here we go. Here's the Britney Spears one.
Oh, yeah.
For you Britney Spears fans. One of the latest ones has to do with Britney's famous music video, Oops, I Did It Again. Many can distinctly remember Britney wearing a microphone headset in the video. Does anyone remember this video? Because I swear I remember her wearing the microphone headset.
I don't know. I don't even know if I've ever seen the video, but I mean, she has so many concert videos where she probably did wear a headset at one point that how would I know?
Her doll even came with the headset, but she wore one all the time in every performance. And what people are saying is we just assume she was wearing them in the video because the most iconic images of her were of her in that same costume, but with that headset on.
Yeah, but if you're making an official studio music video for a song, why would you need to wear a headset since you're mostly just lip syncing along anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, think about all the music videos that artists do, and they recreate the leads or the drum solos or whatever. But then you look and none of their instruments are plugged in. There's like no cables, no wires, no nothing. There's like no amps. Like, what are you playing through?
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
It's Milli Vanilli shit right there, man. Sex in the City. Was it Sex and the City or Sex in the City?
Sex in the City.
I always thought it was Sex in the
I
City
would
too.
say
My ex was a
N.
big fan. But it was and. Sex and the City is the entire thing, which kind of makes sense also, I guess. I mean, as much as that should make
Yeah.
sense to me.
That's just a linguistic transfer. You know, a lot of people slip,
Yeah.
you know, and rather than enunciating and, you know, they say in
And yeah,
Sex in the City. Sex and Sex in the City.
I feel like a number of these things are just based on people's inabilities to spell or sounds or colloquialisms
Right.
that aren't
Mhm.
really because they change and we shifted timelines. It's just normal things, like absolutely normal explanations. Like Febreze. In the breeze part, is there one E or two?
I think it's just one, isn't it?
See, I always thought it was two, but apparently it's one. But I can tell you I've used the shit, but I've never paid that much attention on how it was spelled to
That's the
think
funny
that
thing
it could be a
about it is
Mandela effect.
we're so faced with this stuff every day, all day. We just stop noticing it after a while.
Mhm.
It's so commonplace, you know, we just stop noticing it, and then we forget.
Oscar Mayer. Is it Oscar Mayer with an E or Oscar Mayer with an A? As in
I'm saying A,
Meyer?
Mayer.
Yeah,
OSCAR. My bologna has a second name. It's Mayer.
right.
Oh, I love to eat it every day. If you ask me why, I'll say because Dr.
Mhm.
Meyer has a way of BOLOGNA.
Yep.
That's how we learned to spell baloney in school, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really was. It was for me too. And that's the thing. Like I always knew it was an A, but I would always forget. And if I write it down like on a list, a shopping list, I would write it with E. But it's the same sound. Meyer.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think that's just a pronunciation of the name. Like that's not
yeah,
again not the Mandela effect.
yeah.
And there's
Well, it's
Fruit
not in
Loops.
Spanish.
Oh, I
Fruit
just saw that
Loops
one
and
With
too.
the
Blows.
Isn't it
what?
FROOT?
Yeah,
Yeah, FROOT instead of FUI.
Right. That's what I was thinking too, because like the double O's in each word was like the loops, because it was the different colors. Like
right.
each O is one of the different colors.
Oh yeah.
Um, shoe brand, clothing brand, and even Skechers. Was there a T in Skechers or not?
No, no. SKECHER.
That's correct. That this is somehow again Skechers. It's pronounced the same way, not a Mandela effect, not a glitch in the matrix, just pronunciation bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. And you know, going back to Oscar Mayer, that's also how he learns the ingredients of a Big Mac.
Yep. Yep, sure is. The Big Mac song, there was a Whopper song. If you need to know how to spell Cincinnati, as in Cincinnati, Ohio, the Keanu Reeves Babies in Toyland movie, actually, there's a whole song on how to spell Cincinnati, and it's how I learned how to spell Cincinnati as a kid. Let's see. King Henry VIII, his famous portrait. A lot of people distinctly remember the portrait, this famous portrait, where in one hand he was holding a turkey leg for some reason.
I don't think so. I can't imagine that, you know, if you're going to have your royal portrait painted, that you're going to do something as, you know, as low class as holding a big ass turkey leg. But he was known for his girth and the fact that he liked to eat, which I think is what got parodied a lot, and that's essentially I think what caused people to think that he's holding a turkey leg.
I can see people like grabbing that portrait and like spoofing it for like food events or for things like that. People just remembering it that way. You got one on board, Jenny? I got a bunch, so if you need me to keep going,
there's Captain and Captain Crunch.
Apostrophe N.
Yeah, CAP''N.
Yeah, Captain Crunch.
Is that what it's supposed to be? Or just what we remember?
That's what it's supposed to be, Captain. We just remember calling him Captain Crunch because, well...
I remember Captain.
Captain, yeah. Captain Crunch.
Just like that. Like I when I call people Captain, sometimes that's how I write it because of that fucking cereal sometimes. Captain. Pikachu. Here's a fun one for Pikachu.
Pika?
Apparently it's about Pikachu's tail.
Did it have a lightning bolt shape?
No. I mean it does. In one version, people remember there's black on the very tip of the tail. And the other version people remember, down where his tail, comes out of him, there's like a dark brown.
I don't remember a dark brown, but yeah, I think the black is on the tip of it.
Apparently, no. The tail is just the yellow,
straight yellow,
with a tiny little bit of brown down there, which is supposed to be like a shadow or something in the tail. But the tail is just yellow. But I swear to God, I remember the black tip on the end of the tail, like the ears.
Well, I wonder if. There was an animated cartoon on Comedy Central called Drawn Together that had a Pikachu type character. What was the name of that character? And maybe it had a black spot on its tail.
It's very possible.
Separate it from Pikachu. No, I can't think of the name of that. I can't think of the name of that character.
I will look it up right now because I'm trying to remember. I used to love that. That show is so messed up, man.
Let's see if it has a black spot on its tail.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Does what he say? There's a snake in my boot or a snake in my boots?
Snake in my boot?
I remember one boot, yeah.
There's a snake in my boot. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Mike.
Hello, Mr. Mike Guzman. Ling Ling. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, that's right, Ling Ling. And I just looked up Ling Ling also. I was just about to tell you, it's orange. It's like an orange Pikachu, but it does have a black tip to its tail.
See, I wonder if that's where the mistake is coming from.
Very possible, dude.
Tom from the outside. Yay. Score 1 for Tom.
Apparently, he says boots.
Really? There's a snake in my boots? I always thought that there was a snake in my boot.
There's a snake in my boobs.
Here's a fun one. Kit Kat. Hyphen or no hyphen?
No hyphen.
Kit Kat.
I remember the hyphen.
No hyphen.
Yeah, I remember no hyphen, but there was no hyphen. And I want to bring something up because this is a debate that I had with my daughter at some point. You cannot break into a Kit Kat bar. The whole break me off a piece of, and then there was the whole break into a Kit Kat bar thing they did for what. That's not possible because a Kit Kat candy bar is contained inside of something. So you can't break into the Kit Kat bar.
Well, you can rip the package open.
You can break into the packaging, or you can break the candy bar out of the package, but you can't break into the candy bar.
You can break the candy bar inside the package.
You can. You're still not breaking into the Kit Kat bar.
Hi, Ben. Thank you. For that moment,
Kit Kats are usually connected side by side. You can snap them in half. Would that be breaking into it?
That's simply breaking.
Okay.
If you look at the etymology of all these words, like this was like an hour-long conversation about just being stoned as shit in a parking lot waiting on Michelle to do something in the store, and we didn't want to go in. And we just talked about this for like an hour to an hour and a half. She still doesn't believe I'm right about any of this, but that's okay.
I think that's semantics.
Yeah, true.
It's how words work. I didn't make these rules. I just follow them.
It's how words work.
Mm-hmm.
My linguistics professor would agree.
Words are intended to be used in specific ways for specific reasons. Once we throw that out of the window, it's fucking chaos, people.
Yep. And that's how we try to write our books.
Yes.
Exactly. Or we try. Yeah, we try. Let's see here. I got Cheez It. Do you remember Cheez It or Cheez
Yeah.
Its?
Cheez Its.
S.
So you remember there being an S or a Z at the end?
Yeah. Well, the Z.
What most people remember is Cheez Its with a Z at the end. There isn't a Z at the end. It's just Cheez It. People pluralize Cheez It as Cheez It. It's like, hey, do you want some Cheez Its? But we
Yeah.
pluralize it, but the product itself is just Cheez It. That's crazy.
And everybody in my house swears the Scooby Doo ones are better because they're more crunchy.
Yeah. Double stuff Oreos. 2 F's in the word stuff or no?
That's a good one. I do not know, but I'm gonna say 2 F's, which means it's probably 1.
It's
I
one.
also-
It would seem.
You recall 1 F and you recall 2 F's?
No. I no, on the package I saw earlier, it was one
Oh.
F at the store. It seems that there should be 2.
Yeah, there should be 2. In fact, the cream filling from the Oreo itself spawned a really cheesy B horror film that we need to do on Tomb called The Stuff. And it's this white stuff that looks like the filling of an Oreo cookie. It's got 2 F's. This 1 F nonsense. Let's see. I see the CP. Okay, Mona Lisa's smile. There's a lot of theories on this painting. Is her smile slight or obvious?
Slight. Just popped in to say hi. Had a really long day though, didn't we all?
I'm happy to have you whenever we can get you, Mike.
Hey, Mike, did you have any suggestions for the Mandela effect or glitch in the Matrix?
And it was a slight smile, by the way.
I got one for you.
Okay.
The drink, Mellow Yellow, W or no W?
Man, I'm trying to remember because I used to love Melio when I was a kid. That was like my go-to drink at one point in time. And I'm wanting to say, like, even though the commercials and the song made you think that there was a W, I think there was a no W in Mellow Yellow.
I don't believe so either, but I just came up with that off the top of my head. So now I have to find out. I'm pretty sure it's not though.
You just
I don't
illustrated
think
a point. You just illustrated a point. You just literally created a Mandela effect that I haven't yet seen on the list because we might be tired. I'm stoned and tired for any number of reasons. And now suddenly there's a Mandela effect because I remember it this way. No, dude, you were just high or not paying attention or you were exhausted at the time. And that's why Mandela effect exists.
Yep.
The last 2 big ones I can like see off the rip. Actually, no. There's many more. Let's see the Flintstones. Flintstones or Flintstones?
Yeah. Flintstones.
2 T's.
There is 2 T's, but most people don't pronounce the first T, which is why people didn't realize there was a 2 T's in it. We say Flintstones. We don't call it Flintstones. We just call it the Flintstones. But that's just because of how we pronunciate things, not because there isn't a second T in it.
No, they say it in the song, Flintstones, meet the Flintstones.
They do in the song, but when we pronounce it and talk about the show, because of the way the pronunciation of things work, we call it the Flintstones.
It all has to do with pronunciation again. That's what I'm saying.
We're soft on the first T, but it's definitely there.
Okay. And there's one thing I wanted to bring up about the glitch in the Matrix thing.
Okay.
There are glitch in the Matrix stories where things happen. Like these 2 guys step on their front porch, they lock their door, and then they go out. They have a fun time on the destination they were going to, and then they have a car crash on the way back and they both die. And then next thing they know, they come back to themselves. They're on the porch. They both know they lived through that event. They're shaking and sweating like they did, but they decide, no, we're just not going to do that. or
That's a premonition. That's not really a glitch in the matrix. That's premonition, like
true.
Final Destination style.
Exactly, but people are calling these premonitions glitches in the matrix. Or another story that I've recently heard. This person, they're going up the stairs. This lady's passing them. The doctor passed the lady on the stairs, and she said, "Thank you for everything you've done. You have a great day." And she passes him, and she says, "You're welcome." As he's going up, they see each other. He gets a good look at her to tell her you're welcome, and then he goes up, and the person he sees that he's going up to take care of for the cold blue is the lady that passed him on the stairs. That is another thing they're putting in the glitch in the matrix stories.
So, question: she was the one. She was the patient that he's going to take care of.
Yeah,
Is she conscious?
she was not conscious. She was dead when he got there.
She was never
Exactly.
really
So
there to start with.
that's at best a haunting situation and not a glitch in the matrix at all.
That'd be
Yes.
more paranormal
Yeah.
than glitchy matrix.
I think we can safely
Exactly.
say we're moving on to glitch in the matrix now. Let's finalize the Mandela and what we think about Mandela
Yeah.
effect before we move fully on. I think Mandela effect is bullshit based on people being tired, lazy, or misunderstanding something, and I don't think it's even a thing.
Yeah, I just think that over a period of time, just because all the information that we carry in our head and the fact that people get lackadaisical with their enunciation and things change over time, and then you try to have somebody recall it and they can't, because they're not presented with it on a daily basis, on a regular basis.
It
And
is no different than the misremembered lyrics phenomenon. It's the
right.
same fucking thing. What do you think, Jenny?
And I agree. They're still fun to look up. I'm enjoying watching the different videos and finding the different things. B, they're both ways are used at the moment because there's musical albums called Mellow Yellow. I think it's a band. And then there's the Mellow Yellow without the W, that is the drink.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't ask me why I'm using my hand to count on, but yeah, But I am that tired. But either way, that is my thoughts on that.
There are, if you guys are interested in Glitch in the Matrix stories, there are 2 different subreddits called Glitch in the Matrix that you can find on Reddit. And these places
Mhm.
like post pictures, just all kinds of awesome, awesome stuff. So go check that out. I think the Glitch in the Matrix or a peek behind the curtain is more of an actual, I would consider a thing versus a Mandela
Mhm.
effect. But I do agree that with Jenny, I think people misuse it because they misunderstand what it is.
Yeah.
Like one of the most famous Glitch in the Matrix pictures I remember seeing like spread around online for years now. Um, this guy's hanging out on his porch, like he's just taking pictures of himself and his friend, and like like selfies and stuff. And they happen to be just taking pictures all around him. They get one of the sky, and there's this one part in the sky that's almost a square, and it
Mhm.
looks like a light panel that's kind of burnt out for a second, and then the next picture it's fixed. And they went back and looked at this, and it wasn't like any kind of like anomaly because it was a perfect square. Like it wasn't.
Mhm.
There would have been issues with other pictures. Like there was nothing. There was no screen burn. It just looked like a light panel that was dimmed out for like a brief moment, and he just happened to catch it.
Mhm.
I mean, he still could have photoshopped it. I don't know. I wasn't there. I have no idea whether it was photoshopped or not. In my heart, I don't want it to be, but in my brain tells me it probably was. But that's more like a glitch in the matrix scenario, like something that lets us know that we're the life we're in isn't real, or that we're like the snow globe effect, where we're just what was the name of that show? That ended the snow globe, the Saint Elsewhere. The Saint Elsewhere
Yeah.
show, or the whole very end of it, which they also then later spoofed on an episode of Earthworm Jim cartoon, that we're all just in a giant snow globe that's inside of another snow globe that's in a whole universe of just snow globes.
Yikes.
That's some glitch in the matrix shit right there. When you recognize that you're in the snow globe.
They did a snow globe episode on oh shoot, what was the one of the sci-fi network shows I was binge watching recently. Not Eureka, but a show along that lines.
Was it
Haven.
Warehouse? What was
Haven.
it? Oh yeah,
Haven.
Haven. Yeah, they did. Yeah, I
Haven.
remember that. I
They
love
did a
that
snow
show.
globe episode on that one.
Yep.
Um, Glitch in the Matrix. I think originally Neo, when he experiences his first glitch in the Matrix, is when he sees the black cat cross through the doorway, and then he turns around. When he turns back, the black cat crosses through the doorway again, and he says "deja vu,"
Mhm.
and that's when everybody stops, and they said, "What?" He goes, "Deja vu." I think black cat cross, and then another black cat cross, and they say, "Are you sure? Was it the same black cat?" He's like, how do I know that? And that's when they say that glitch in the matrix is when somebody has changed the coding, which means that the
Mhm.
agents are usually on the scene
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
reworking things so that it'll be in their favor. uh,
Yeah.
so a lot of people equate those feelings of deja vu with glitches in the matrix. I don't experience deja vu very often. And when I do, it's like, why the hell did I feel that?
Mhm.
Because I can't think of anything that would trigger it. And sometimes I think I saw this in a dream, or I dreamed about this, or I was in this
Mhm.
exact situation in a dream. And I feel like that deja vu is me remembering that situation in a dream, like
Right.
that exact situation. I'm like, how can that be? But the thing is, it could be so much time has passed between the time I had the dream and the time I
Mhm.
feel the deja vu. It's not immediate. It's not like I have a dream one night and then I forget that dream and then something happens the next day or the day after, which is, exactly the situation in that dream. It's like, oh, deja vu. And I remember dreaming about this. No, it's not that. It'd be, I could have this dream and then I remember the dream for a short period of time, and then I forget about it, and then months or years later, something will happen that causes that deja vu. And I'm like, I feel like I've dreamed about this before.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of what I see on this sub is not what I would consider actual peek behind the curtain or whatever. It's a lot of more examples of people misremembering or some weird thing. Like there's one about someone claims a day ago there's a person that claimed a glitch happened, and basically they heard their mom walk in the door and call for their dog, and then 5 minutes later it happened again. Only the second time the mom actually did come home and walk in and call out for the dog. Here's my thing about that. That's not a glitch in the matrix, I don't think. You get used to hearing if something is a routine thing that you hear often, like if every day at a certain time, your mom comes home and calls your dog, and you look up and you notice it's almost that time, you might hear it whether it happens or not. You'll hear it around the same time where you would normally hear it sometimes, whether it happened or not. I get this all the time, where I swear someone's hollering down the stairs. I heard the door open, someone hollered down the stairs because it happens so often that I turn my music off and I'm like, or my podcast off, and I'm like, I answer. Oh, wait a minute, nothing. I go up and the door's closed. It never even opened. Your brain works like that if you're used to hearing something. If your phone rings a lot,
Mhm.
you will swear that your phone just rang even though it didn't. It's like auditory hallucinations based on programming.
Mhm.
Out near where I live, they have an emergency alert siren, and you can hear it all over this side of town.
Yep.
And it's the actual physical location is not very far from where I live because I know where it's located. And it goes off every Wednesday at noon, like clockwork. That is its
Mhm.
regularly set scheduled time. It goes off every Wednesday at noon. So you get so used to hearing it that every Wednesday at noon, you sort of drown it out. Like And then you said, did it go off today? And you're not sure if it did, but you know that because it's so regular that it did go off. It's just that you probably drowned it out or you were doing something else so that you didn't hear it.
It works
But
out
it's
way.
that one time that it doesn't go off on Wednesday at noon. You're like, something's wrong. It didn't go off. Because then you know you've gotten so in tune to hearing it that if it doesn't go off, you know it did not go off.
Oh, yeah.
I've had that feeling with trains. There was always this one train that went by like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and every morning it would go by, and then there was suddenly one morning where it didn't, and it woke me up. So I
Yep.
ended up meeting my dad out in the yard looking at the train tracks across the street.
Like, where's the train?
It's crazy how our
Yeah.
brains work that way, though. So many things become background or white noise until it's not there, and then we're like, what the fuck? Here's an example,
Oh, yeah.
an actual example of behind the curtain or, glitch in the matrix. A guy was walking with his friends just down a street, and he slammed into a wall. Like, just it dead stopped him because he was like walking ahead of his friends, except for it was just an open street. There was nothing barring his way there whatsoever. And his friends actually noticed him responding and his body physically reacting to the fact that there was no moving through it. And it almost knocked him down. And he was just walking, so it didn't like hurt him, but it kind of dazed him for a second. And by the time he shook it off, his friends joined him. They were able to walk like nothing was there whatsoever. But yet they watched this happen to him, and he experienced it.
That seems like the scene in Ice Pirates where they hit that invisible barrier.
Yes, I was thinking that too. I fucking love that movie. But yeah,
except
like
they all hit the invisible barrier because it was actually there.
Yeah, and we've seen that in a lot of stuff. Like that. That's something that I would definitely call a glitch or curtain. What are we looking at?
And this picture, it's one of the ones under the glitch in the matrix. You see a woman dressed in dark blue and light blue with red bags. And then right in front of her, you see the similarly dressed woman with red bags.
That
And
was kind of creepy. Yeah.
and then the same dressed blonde ladies in a row with similar boyfriends.
Okay, so there are definitely enough differences in these people that these people planned that for a photo. There's enough
Yes.
differences between the people there that was just a planned thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That one looked like it might have been staged.
The first one, maybe it could have been staged too, but like
Put the
her
first
body.
one back up. I want it so I can let me look at it again.
Yes. Did I disappear? Okay.
See, so many people go to Jeopardy, but I go to the
And
Muzak
there's
version of the Girl
all
from
sorts of
Ipanema.
ones like that.
Can you bring back up that first picture?
The first picture, yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I was thinking that it might be a Photoshop thing since they're both similarly dressed. That it could just be the same woman that was Photoshopped and minimized down into the frame, but they're actually not even in the same posture.
Yeah, the different postures, and also,
And the
she's
bag is on the
carrying-
other side.
she's carrying an extra bag. I just noticed it. On top of the red bag, if you look, she's got the same gray bag that the guy is carrying, or a similar one to it.
That's
I thought
where
that
I
was
would
part of the
want to
building
zoom in on the girl that's in front so I could try to see more details on it.
The girl in the front is definitely thinner, so it's not the same person, only slightly.
Yeah.
And the one in the back, her shoulders naturally are like a lot more rounded. That's not even just a posture. She's got rounded shoulders. The one in the front, she's got definition in her shoulders. And again, and that's not just the outfit or that's a frame thing.
Yeah, that one's probably just more of a coincidence that they happen to be wearing some very similar outfits that day,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's both bags the guy is holding, and both the bags that the girl is holding. That she's holding all those bags.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty crazy. Not photoshopped. Could have been staged, but it wasn't photoshopped.
No, I think the second one was staged.
The second one had to have been staged. It had to have been.
Yeah, because I mean, you could easily take girls with different hair and just put on similar wigs on each one of them, and just say, "Okay, wear your leather jacket and blue jeans." And
I mean, I knew female groups growing up that would all dye their hair at the same time together. Like it was just a thing they did together. So I mean, the hair could have just been dyed that way. It could be normal. The jackets were slightly different. That's something
Yeah,
that
I
I
know
noticed in
on
that picture.
Mythbusters with Jamie Hyneman and Savage that they used to do stuff like that where they would try to debunk, certain things that were, possibly staged photos.
Yeah.
And I think that there was a show where they did the same thing with paranormal type stuff, where they would try to recreate the video or the photo, and then edit
It
it
was a cool show.
or stage it so that they could say this could be easily staged and this is how it was done.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't remember the name of the show though.
I remember that show too. Mysteries Explained, or no, it wasn't that. It was a different show. I know what you're talking about though, and they did one for magic. Was it David Blaine that used to? Wait, it wasn't David Blaine. There was this one magician that used to go around and show everybody, like expose magicians and show people how like all their magic
unknown
work.
magician where he'd wear the mask and
that guy. Yeah. Like it's weird.
I
Like
remember
so many different phenomenons can just literally be explained by not paying attention, misunderstanding something, or misclassifying something as something else. Because honestly, we've heard very little or seen very little Glitch in the Matrix stuff tonight. But we've seen enough to make it more believable of a thing than the Mandela Effect, but still not enough to sell me on Glitches in the Matrix being a thing.
Well, I think that the Mandela Effect is far more common, far more prominent than Glitches in the Matrix.
Yeah, more prominent, but obviously based on human misunderstanding of things, like an obvious answer as to what it actually is, and not some kind of paranormal or whatever you want to call it thing. I just don't buy into the Mandela Effect. But I mean, the Glitch in the Matrix thing, I could, if I hear some more things, I mean, I could lean in that direction. I've had a lot of crazy things happen to me, but nothing that I can just tell you, oh, that was a Glitch in the Matrix.
I can't think of anything directly in my own life that I would consider Glitch in the Matrix. I don't know. Especially, now that I'm post 50 and it's harder to remember all of the stuff from childhood.
True.
People have said there have been reports again with this Glitch in the Matrix, and a lot of these are just people telling stories, putting it online, but no video evidence of any of and stuff like this. Other than stuff like the first picture that I'm still pretty damn sure was just Photoshop. There was a famous story about a bird watcher that was watching birds fly by, and one just kind of glitched out, like literally just kind of faded, and then it was gone, and the other ones just kept flying like nothing ever happened.
Okay, but again, I have a Mandela Effect that for my own personal life. This isn't Glitch in the Matrix. This is straight up Mandela Effect. For the longest time, probably most of my life, I've been telling people that I started karate when I was 12 years old, which would have put it around 1984. But I couldn't remember if I started before or after Karate Kid came out, because it was released that same year.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I think it was released in July. But I could have sworn that I started karate in the 7th grade. So I would have been 12 years old. It would have been around 1984, because that's when I was in the 7th grade.
Right.
Because I had a bully in elementary school. His name was Brian. Tortured me. And he's kind of part of the reason that I started martial arts, but that's a different story for another day. And I distinctly remember starting martial arts while I was still in elementary school and trying to deal with Brian.
Fucking Brian.
The other day, I came across my old yellow belt certificate. And it is dated February 1986, which would have put me in the second half of the 8th grade, which means that I had to start either late 1985 or very early 1986. So I would have been 13 not 12. And that blows my mind because I could have sworn I started earlier by 2 years.
Yeah.
You're
That's just
confused by
you misremembering, dude. Like I'm bad with time and like in the passaging of time and like when certain things happen and I'll swear it was one way and here comes proof constantly that it actually was a different time. That's just more proof that the Mandela effect isn't actually a thing, that it's just us remembering things and being so sure about something, but we were wrong somewhere along the way because our brain got confused by something. And I mean, we can be fantastical and say it's because we switched timelines. That sounds fun to me. I'm down for that. I like to believe in everything, but
I would love to.
So yeah, I mean,
And
it was. I was still in grade school, but it was the 8th grade and not the 7th grade, and that
that's
that's
middle.
what boggles my mind because for the longest time I thought that it was 2 years earlier.
That's not grade school, man.
Middle school, whatever you guys want to call it up here.
See,
My elementary school went from kindergarten to 8th grade. We didn't have a
okay.
separate school for 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Oh no. Here we had a school from Head Start to 4th grade. Then there's a school for 5th and 6th, a school for 7th and 8th, and then a school for 9th through 12th. That's
Jeez.
Riverside for you.
and you would
Nope.
not be confused if you read the assignment.
I didn't read.
I'm still confused by your headline. You have to explain it to me.
That is the name of the car. Her name is Gay Deceiver.
What car? My
That
brain
is
is like so focused on like something completely different that I'm not sure which
it
assignment we're talking about.
did
Kidnapped
you
by Gay
read?
Deceiver underneath her name, but I have no idea what Gay Deceiver is, and she says that
It's
is the
the
name of the
car
car.
in Number of the Beast.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, okay. That I'm gonna erase my headline now.
I
Yes.
don't think I've seen Number of the Beast, so that's
You would
probably
have to have read it.
Read it, yeah.
You know about Friday, but you don't know about Number of the Beast. Either way, Robert A. Heinlein.
Yep.
okay. I can.
As soon as you said it, I know who it was related to. My brain was just.
That's because I read
confused.
Friday. I didn't read Number of the Beast.
Okay. I recommend reading Number of the Beast. And you were only the second one the whole entire time I've been doing podcasts that knows about Friday.
The other Heinlein book that I read, I did read Stranger in a Strange Land.
Oh, that was good.
And I'm trying to see now. This is me misremembering again. If I read
Mandela
Moonstar
Effect.
or not,
I gotta find a cool
but I
thing
did
on my
read
board.
one of my favorite Heinlein books was called The Door into Summer.
That one's great.
Okay,
And the main character in that one, his name was Daniel Boone Davis, which I thought was really cool because Boone was my hometown, and it was named after Daniel Boone.
Brutal.
nice.
Mine would.
Go ahead. I'll wait till you're done.
My favorite is The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. I want to be a loony, but after the Civil War.
That inspired the Tick, you know.
Spoon.
With his line, "Gravity is a harsh mistress."
That's
So I want to assign a random sound effect. Like I don't use most of what my board does. It's got like sound effects that I don't even know what the fuck they are, and the descriptions are weird. So whatever
Okay.
sound effect this is, it's titled "Short Smile," and I don't know how a short smile can make a sound. So this is my new sound for Mandela effects. That was just a laugh track.
So
Yeah.
just odd laughter. That's okay.
Yeah, it was very weird. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, we believe you. Laughter. Okay, yeah.
No,
Alrighty.
I have to find reasons to press random
put
buttons.
on like they were obligated to laugh, even though it wasn't really funny.
Yeah, that's our new sound effect for Mandela effects.
Please
Yeah, yeah.
push
Short
another
smile.
button.
You want me to push another button? This one says giggle. Wait,
Same
isn't
thing.
that the... Hold on a minute. Let's listen to the first one again. They ripped me off. Yeah,
It's the
their-
same one.
It's the
Their
same
villain
thing.
is two different things here. Okay, this one says awkward. Let's see what this one is. That was.
There's your Mandela effect right there.
Okay. Last one. Minions. What the fuck is on this board? These things came pre-programmed, and you can't switch them out or anything. There's so many more sounds, but I'm afraid. After that one, I'm afraid I'm not touching any more buttons today.
We
What
could
was that
always
picture you
go
popped
through
up?
them. Okay, this one. Last one I picked up to put up when we were talking. This guy is sitting in the restaurant and he takes a picture of himself with the people behind him, and he
They're all
noticed that
basically
they're
wearing the
dressing
same shirt, but I mean, their faces don't look the same.
Or
Yeah,
their undershirt.
he was.
Yeah.
That was his glitch in the Matrix picture. We're all wearing similar shirts.
That's another thing that could have been staged. They could have been his friends.
Yep.
Mhm.
Or it could have been coincidence too. That
Another
coincidence is a
coincidence.
thing.
He says it was a coincidence. So yeah.
Yeah, but people lie. That's the problem with these things. People lie all the time to get attention or likes or subscribers. People lie for attention,
Exactly.
and that makes deciding whether phenomena is like glitch in the matrix or behind the curtain or a Mandela effect, whether they're actually real things or not. We need science. We need actual information.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I mean, I've seen all kinds of weird shit, but I classify them as very different things as what they are: hauntings, coincidences, deja vu, all kinds of different stuff. But like, I just feel like people are using glitch in the matrix as a catch-all to mean a million different things, and they're not following
Yes.
the definition of what it actually is.
Exactly.
I come from the net.
Mhm.
Do you remember Reboot?
Yes.
Yes. I love that show.
So the main character, Bob, the Guardian, he has a key tool, which is kind of its own little AI entity thing, and its name is Glitch, and it's always glitching. So that's literally your glitch in the Matrix.
Anytime
Yeah.
I think about like the internet, like back in the day or anything like that, I think of Max Headroom.
Max Network
Max Headroom.
23.
Who later took over as the actor took over in the sequel to Lawnmower Man as the Lawnmower Man that was stuck in the computer, which I always thought was a really hilarious thing. Was it
Matt
Matt?
Frewer.
Yeah, Matt Frewer.
He went on to
Apparently,
do a lot of the sci-fi shows too.
he's returning very soon as Max Headroom. Actually, they are doing a reboot called Max 2.0. That's
Hmm,
what people have been talking about a lot lately. But it is going to star him back in his normal role, but it's going to be a complete reboot,
that'll be
and
interesting.
it's
Interesting.
being worked on and produced by
Bob.
Elijah Wood. What was that?
Bob.
That was
I switched
Reboot.
back over and there was a picture.
Well, that
Oh,
was
okay.
Bob. I mean,
Bob.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's in his upgraded Guardian gear. That was later on in the season.
yeah, that was later in the series.
So I'm
I
sad.
miss.
I feel like I've learned that the Mandela effect is just a lie.
Mhm.
And glitch in the matrix, people don't even understand what it means, so they've been using it wrong for eons now, and there's evidence
Mhm.
everywhere of that online, and it just makes me even more sad for humanity.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, the glitch in the Matrix, I agree with you. I think people probably just use it wrong because they are explaining a lot of Mandela effects for their glitch in the Matrix, which I say that's why I wonder why maybe they're related, you know. But I mean, I don't think Mandela effect is just a lie. I think it's an actual thing, but we're just giving a name to something for a concept that we need to explain that we don't have a name for.
Brain damage. We have a name for that.
No, it's misremembering. That's all it is. It's misremembering.
Which is actually
Mhm.
technically a form of brain damage.
Mhm.
No, I
Affected
mean,
memory, the functionality of your brain is damaged, not your brain itself. But it is technically a form of brain damage or receptor damage, depending on how you really want to look at it. There's something wrong with the way the memory in your brain is stored.
I don't know if I want to say damaged so much as it is general wear and tear like a machine.
Or perhaps glitched.
Glitched, yeah. My brain has glitched, and I'm misremembering things.
And that's the real glitch in the Matrix right now. Our brains glitch all the time to make us believe that these things are the way they were at some point in time.
I still look at the brain as an organic computer.
Yeah.
Just like the CPU is on your motherboard. It's basically the brain of the computer is what makes everything run. But within our brain, we've got little depositories, which acts as our hard drive where we store the information. And then you got little electrical pathways, which is your bus, like the computer. And the signals move across the bus to pull that information from those depositories where the memories are kept. And at some point, the depositories start getting full. And the brain only has a limited capacity for retaining information. You know, you put your stuff into RAM and your ROM, once it's filled up, you can't put anything else in there until you get rid of something else. So you're constantly overriding, putting one thing on top of another, on top of another, on top of another, until it becomes all compact and mishmashed. And that's why you start misremembering things, because you've got things that are all connected together in one big mishmash of ball of wax.
Yeah,
it's like the string theory of quantum physics, where every point of the string is touching every other point of the string. It's the same thing with all of your memories inside of your head. They're all touching all the other memories inside of your head, which is why you start misremembering them, because you can't keep them all straight in their own little parallel lines that make sense.
Yep. And then of course, while you're saving things and deleting things, you've got digital artifacts that pop up in there. And the digital artifacts are your Mandela effects, your deja vu, things like that.
Yeah.
Deja vu is just your system error that pops up on your screen. Click OK to continue.
Yeah. That was weird.
Girl from Ipanema. All right.
Yeah. So basically, what we've learned here is that we are all part of the Matrix, and the Matrix glitches because that's how our brains work, and otherwise none of this is real.
You go, girl from Ipanema, and I go.
I don't want to create another Mandela effect. It's definitely Ipanema.
I go.
I know that one. Okay, so that's an earworm song that I screw with Dell about sometimes. If you're ever randomly in a chat with Dell, just stare right into the camera and start doing that, and just it's funny.
Oh man. So my brain has glitched out.
My memory warehouses went through an earthquake and everything's all messed up.
All shuffled.
My brain is switching into early South Park, where Stan would always guys, I really learned something today. And he goes on to tell you, some...
Shut up, Stan. Nobody cares.
Basically, that's how my brain is. I really learned some things about myself and the world around me. And again, my entire belief structure of Razism is that everything is real. Unless I get evidence that it's not. And that's the sad thing today, is I feel like I have evidence today that these things are bullshit. And that takes a little bit more away from my world. It makes it a little bit less magical.
Well,
It's okay. I'll probably smoke and then forget about this whole conversation, like the whole disappointment factor. I'll smoke it away.
Back to you in a big rush of deja vu.
Yep.
Boujade.
Exactly. I have enjoyed walking through this weird minefield with you guys.
I don't think we intended this to be like a short show or a long show. We just decided we were going to do the subject, and we're not far over an hour in, which is actually kind of short for us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Normally we go for 2, but yeah. But, it's been a good show. We actually talked about a lot of good stuff.
We did. We covered the shit out of these 2 subjects that were really one subject that was really no
subject.
I enjoyed this one. This one was a lot of fun. I thought it was going to be fun when it got brought up. I was okay, cool. I was looking at different things, but actually sitting with you guys and really exploring what it was or what it isn't. I don't know. It was just. I think this is one of my favorite shows so far. Actually, it's my favorite show so far of Legends by Night. I got to be honest.
Yay!
Cool.
And there comes Pyle at the buzzer.
Right
Right as we're considering ending the episode.
Well,
He's
let's
puffing his
let him
clothes.
come on, see if he has any 2 cents to add, because I don't know, he might drag it out for another hour.
Yeah, Pyle, are you
I'll
done?
be
Do you want to
asleep,
pop in
but
here?
he can drag it out for another hour.
Yeah. Get in here, Pyle. Get your shit together, buddy.
I need to go mend the glitch in my brain now.
Pyle is our glitch.
Right? He is the glitch.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna switch to that one. Are you coming, Pyle? Actually, don't answer that. Phrasing.
And
Yes,
We're
phrasing. We
waiting.
don't want to know what's happening with April. We're good.
Oh no, you really missed it. In the Haunters chat, he kept talking about how he was really pleased by something, how there was a lot of pleasure involved, and his buddy Matt was talking about, yeah, man, I was really pleased, and I was just over here going, seriously, guy, are we not doing phrasing? Because they just keep saying please and please
yeah,
and pleasure.
considering that the buddy that he was talking to was sitting in the bathroom.
It actually turned the video. Yeah.
There's Cthulhu.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, he's next time say on my way, phrasing. I really need to catch back up with Archer.
Yes.
Phrasing? What, are we not doing phrasing anymore?
And that's how you get ants.
Right? That's like one of the greatest animated shows ever.
It really is, dude. And I love John H. Benjamin, or his name always fucks me up.
I know, H. John Benjamin.
Yeah, I love him so much.
There's another Mandela effect for you. Where does the H come?
No, my brain is just like that. I've always struggled with his name, but like he's Archer. He's Bob from Bob's Burgers. He had his show where he would just randomly tour the area in a van and just talk to people and shit on Comedy Central at one point. There's our glitch.
I am a big glitch, and I'll tell you. Well, you know
Son
what?
of a glitch.
That's exactly where I was going to go with that. Oh my gosh. I was just watching you guys as we got done with our stuff, and I was like, hey, they're still going. I want to watch this, and I say hello, and you guys are saying okay.
Yeah, we were ending the show, but we got you, and we can get your take on Mandela Effect and glitches in the Matrix. We'll get your take, and then we'll tell you what we discovered, so our findings don't influence you.
Well, then that reminds me, I wanted to say something, but go ahead, Paul.
Oh no, go ahead if you want to say something.
It can wait till the end of the episode.
Okay,
so we can't influence your opinions, man.
Right?
Yeah. So I've watched Matrix so much that it made me sick, and just to have a glitch in reality would be absolutely amazing. And after watching that movie, it kind of makes you feel uncomfortable when you see what you believe is the same exact person. So as I was like just jumping on here just to watch you guys for a little bit, I was like, I don't even know what they discussed or what they were talking about, because here I was in my armpit OHA shirt. But I always thought it was really interesting just to see something, and you would see it randomly out in the real world, and you're like thinking, did I see that before, or is this just my imagination?
Or deja vu.
Dude, I love deja vu.
Which is different, but it's different from... I mean, would you classify deja vu as being something different from a glitch in the Matrix?
Yeah, because honestly, deja vu is just something that you feel like you know what's coming. And the worst thing to do with deja vu is feel like you know what's going to happen and try changing it, because then something horrible goes wrong.
Like what? Give us an example.
Oh gosh, man. I had like deja vu really bad that I was going to somebody's porch, and I decided I wasn't going to go to somebody's porch, and I rode my bicycle past it, and I got hit by a car.
Well, damn, I could see why your belief is that strong on this. Like that makes some serious sense.
I mean, it was an old woman. She was pulling out. She said she didn't see me. That was when I was a little kid. I was a little more flexible, but I'll tell you what, I got some good distance off of her. So I know she accidentally hit the gas when she was supposed to hit the brake.
Holy shit. All because you challenged your...
I wanted to challenge the theory of, you know what? I'm not going to my friend. I'm just going to keep on going. Boom!
I bet you
Like,
went after that
damn, I
'cause she was
should have
right
went to my
there.
friend.
Should've
I've
gone
also
after-
had that really strong feeling, which just absolutely makes you want to not do something so freaking bad,
Oh yeah.
and you
Dread.
end up doing it anyway. And you're like, man, it's not going to be that bad. And then I wrecked a semi and flipped it on its side.
Jeez, man.
There you
So I have
go.
a question about your first story. Did you go to
Okay.
your friends after you got hit?
Well, hell no.
Okay, I was just I didn't know if
kinda
that.
went back
Went to the
home
hospital.
with an ice pack.
Well, I didn't know because you said your friend's house was like right there, and you had just gone past his porch. So I didn't know if like you went there for help or or something, because that
No,
would have
I
been
was
like the
just
course correcting you.
you know, you're riding a bike, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, deja vu. I feel like I've already done this. And it's like, I'm not going to my friend's house. No, I'm just going to go and I'm going to screw with this feeling. And then I get a whole nother sensation of pain and suffering and a scraped up arm.
Did you go to the hospital?
No, of course not. What's a
Hospitals.
hospital? I mean,
Hey, Jess.
Typical male.
rub
I
some
guess
dirt
not.
on it. The bleeding will
Yeah.
stop eventually.
Put some
Oh,
tussin on it.
You're ripped open, and you need stitches. Son, we don't have insurance. Here's some super glue and Neosporin. Oh, here's a
Right.
couple shop rags and duct tape that that just put on top of it until it seals.
You know what?
The
Use this.
cops made
Yes.
me go to the hospital when I got hit by a car. I didn't have a choice.
Oh no! Like in our neighborhood, we were gone before the cops showed up. Even if someone had to drag us, we were gone.
Dude, I
I
hit
didn't have the ability to move.
Someone.
I was
see,
younger and
you know
I
how many
hit
friends
a
to drag you.
car, a brand new car with my bike. And when I hit this brand new car with my bicycle, it was terrible because they're like calling the squad. They wanted to get me checked out, this and that. I didn't want to explain where the pain was. And they're like, well, you can talk to us. And I was like, my balls.
That's my cat.
In
And
my
they're like,
normal place.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've done that before.
They got you right in the cash and prizes, man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going back to your guys' topic on this, I mean, when something just seems out of place and you just kind of look at it and you think of the possibilities, I really think that your brain is playing so much of a head game with you on why is this one item out of place and why is this one item so invested into your brain.
Okay.
So,
That's
but
the
once
system I'm-
again, I don't even know if I'm even hitting close to the nail with you guys on your whole topic with that.
that's the thing. What we learned, at least for the glitch in the Matrix, is everybody seems to use it as a catch-all for everything. That's why I asked you if you think deja vu is something different. We're seeing tons of stories that are either premonitions, deja vu, or hauntings that people are swearing are actually glitches of the Matrix.
That
But people don't really know what a glitch in the Matrix actually is. They just use it as a catch-all term.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I've had a glitch in the Matrix, but that was just that really sad episode of going to a rest area and the toilet keep on flushing.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to also point out the one of the most popular versions of the phrase, again, before it became glitch in the Matrix, because the Matrix movie, it was Seeing Behind the Curtain, which was popularized. Oh, that version of the phrase was popularized by Wizard of Oz, actually, because they saw behind the curtain, and so that's another thing. I think
the mystery behind it. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you can see how that then became glitch in the Matrix once the Matrix came out. Similar concept.
I want to go off on a tangent here real quick. It's loosely related, but I want to go off on a tangent. I don't know how you all feel about the trilogy of the Matrix movies, but I absolutely love them because I think that it is a magnificent piece of writing with the way that the movies are structured. If you really sit down and you watch all three movies back to back and you pay attention to how they're structured, you will see what I mean. The first movie, which introduces everything, explains the concept. Well, there's four now because they ended up making the Matrix,
which they could have done without.
Yeah, wasn't necessary. I'm just talking about the original three,
right?
The trilogy with Keanu Reeves. If you look at the first one, where they're basically explaining everything and concept and all of that, the first half of the movie basically all takes place in the Matrix, and then once Neo wakes up, the second half of the movie is mostly outside of the Matrix. The second movie is very much expository.
True.
There's a lot of information given in a very short period of time, but then the second half of the movie is all action to balance that out. And then the third movie
Is where it
is
all
just
falls
the
apart.
opposite. The first half of the movie is all outside the Matrix, and then the latter half of the movie is all inside the Matrix with the big war, and Neo's trying to get to the main computers, the computer city, to confront them to stop the
Right.
war.
Right.
So if you watch how all three movies are structured, it's almost symmetrical. And I
True.
think that they paid a lot of attention in how they wrote the movies to make them that way.
I can
So
see
I
that.
have
Yeah.
to give props to the Wachowski. Now, here's another Mandela effect. Was it the Wachowski brothers or the Wachowski sisters?
Both,
Who's the
depending
Yes,
on the
brothers
timeline.
and then became the sisters.
they were the brothers, and then for whatever reason, they both had sex changes and became the Wachowski sisters.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
don't know
Yeah.
why, but that's very interesting.
It is. My issue is that one, I thought the first movie was brilliant. I loved the first movie. The second movie, I was on, I was still hyped up, because the first one was great. I watched it. I enjoyed it about the same. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Then the third one happened, and I was into it, and then the whole last 20 minutes made me fucking hate it. First of all, you got Colonel Sanders. I know he's called the engineer, but the dude looked like Colonel
The
Sanders.
architect.
Yeah, whatever he was. He looked so much like Colonel Sanders that it was distracting. And the whole point of the architect and the whole point of him, I felt kind of weakened the whole finale. And then the seer, she looks up and someone says, I bet you, it was something to the effect of, did you know this was all going to happen? And she's just like, no, but I kind of figured it would. Like, more or less, that's not the exact dialogue, but that's basically, and then that's the very end. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Colonel
Well,
Sanders and the seer that knows everything. Turns out she probably did know it all along, but she just wanted to see how. She's basically Dumbledored the shit out of everybody for fun.
well, then you take into the account that
Dumbledore the shit out of everybody.
neither the architect or the seer are human.
I know that. I got
both
that.
they're both codes, just like the agents. The architect is the main core of the code, and he does state that Neo is the sixth iteration, number six, the sixth iteration
Mhm.
of the anomaly, which means that this has already happened 5 times before, but with Neo is the only time the outcome was different.
That's because he was played by Keanu Reeves this time.
Exactly.
And everybody knows, with the exception
But
of
that
like one or
means
two
that
movies.
there were 5 other anomalies before Neo. That doesn't necessarily mean that they were all Neo. They could have been their own individual
Yeah.
people,
I'm
but they
assuming they
all
were
made
different.
the same choices.
Yeah.
So it's because Neo was the one different anomaly, the one anomaly that made different choices than the 5 previous ones, that the seer wasn't sure.
Right. No, I get you. I get the point of it entirely. I do understand it. It's just still, every time I go back to watch that Children, I need to watch it again here soon, actually, because like I said, I really do like it. But every time I get to Colonel Sanders from then on out, I'm just kind of like,
That's because it's a lot of exposition at one time, and
it was
it's
overcomplicated
kind of a very
exposition.
droll scene when just taken by itself. And I
Yeah.
think that's why they try to break it up a little bit with the action that's going on in the Matrix while Neo is
Right.
in that room with the architect.
It's come for the complicated exposition, stay for the chicken.
So, would you like to know what would be in real life a glitch in the Matrix?
Yes, that's what we're trying to figure out.
COVID.
How's that a glitch?
You lose your taste instantly.
That's not really a glitch, though, because there have been super flus and things like this since the dawn of mankind that have had similar things happen that have culled large sections of the population. If anything, this is nature's version of population control in a really weird way. Oh, there's too many humans on the planet. We need a new disease.
Okay. It just,
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not really a glitch in the
well,
matrix.
it's weird because I remember having COVID, and then all of a sudden, you're eating your breakfast cereal, you're perfectly fine, and then like a half hour later, you go and you drink something, and something just don't taste right, or it's totally gone, and it's like,
Mhm. Your orange juice suddenly tastes like toothpaste, but you haven't even brushed your teeth yet.
and you're just
Weird
like,
shit like that.
It's funny that you
what
should
happened?
say that, Raz, about its nature's version of population control,
Mhm.
because that is something I touch upon in the novel that I'm writing that Jenny has read a very small bit of.
Nice. Like I'm like
Really
all
good.
over like the different man-made and nature versions of population control. I've researched it. I've written songs on it. I've written stories about it. Like it's something that's like very fascinating to me. On when we know as mankind, or when nature knows as nature, when we're overpopulated and that shit's got to go. I mean, look what Thanos did in Marvel. He
Mhm.
was the man-made, but also a force of nature, combined version of everyone's dying, everyone is miserable. If I just eliminate this portion of the population, everyone will be healthy and okay again. So then
And
you've got
it didn't
Thanos, who
work.
really, yeah,
People were
but
more miserable because all their loved ones were gone. He didn't
right,
think about that.
they were, but he didn't care about their emotional state though. That was the thing. The emotional state was not a part of this whole calculation. Physically, people were going to be better because less fighting for resources, less overcrowding. Like mentally, ultimately, people would be better off. Emotionally, they'll be crippled for the rest of their existence. That
Mhm.
but that would also later affect their mental. But he didn't consider again the emotional aspect. So then you're looking at
That was
this
the flaw
population
in
control
the plan.
scenario where, but can you classify Thanos as a bad guy as a result?
he did it in a bad way, but he did
He
it
did it
for,
by force, and I think that's the problem.
but he was doing something in a good aspect,
He thought he was doing the right thing.
right?
He was convinced that he was the good guy of this story.
Right,
I could make historical comparisons to another historical figure that
Many,
did the same thing, but I'm not going to.
but we can. There's many actually. There's very many before and after and since him that have attempted these very same things.
But you know what
And
I'm thinking.
yeah, I know. I
Okay.
figured.
All right.
But that's what I'm saying though, that there have been many people before and after him that
right,
have done the same thing. And
right.
this
Yeah.
brings us to and this connects. This is the perception part of what we're talking about with the glitch in the matrix. So it is still connected. Um, but to further that, there's a phrase that I used to use all the time until I had a teacher about 2 years ago that set me straight. The phrase is, "We need to understand history, or we're doomed to repeat it." That's
My
a lie.
history teacher in high school used to say, "Those who fail history are doomed to repeat it."
Yep. Well, the class, yeah, because they failed the class.
Yeah.
But like, the whole concept of, if we don't know history, we're doomed to repeat it. That is a lie, and it had never been pointed out to me in such an obvious way before. As human beings, especially humans, it is in our nature to want to outdo things, to want to take something and make it different, better. That's what we do with art and writing and music. We take things that have existed, we put our own spin on it, and to us, we've made it better. Technology, it's rebuilt,
Mhm,
it's made better.
mhm.
So it does not matter how much we know about history. It doesn't matter, because there's going to be someone out there that did learn something about history and wants to repeat it to make it better, either in their own image, which could be more catastrophic to the rest of us, or what have you. And that's a matter again of world perception.
Yeah,
So
the idea being, that if you don't learn the lessons from history you're supposed to learn, then you are doomed to keep repeating those same actions that led to problems to begin with. Is I think the point that they're trying to make.
it is, yeah, that is the point of the phrase, yes.
Yeah, if
But
you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. The problem is that I think even if you learn those lessons, it's just that technology moves so fast and things keep constantly evolving that people have the same pattern behaviors over and over again. That even if you learn the lessons from history, it's probably going to repeat itself anyway, just because we have this program pattern of behavior.
Right.
It's like we seem to see a financial depression about once every 30 years or so.
Right.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
where the stock market crashes and things get bad as far as employment goes, nobody's really hiring, and so on and so forth. This seems to be cyclical about once every 30 years. And
Yeah.
it's not that we haven't learned a lesson from history, because obviously we've got the examples, but yet it still keeps happening.
Yeah. That's accurate, man. And I also think that phrase misunderstands, or it's misunderstood and been used for a different purpose. I think the phrase, the phrase we're talking about, you're doomed to repeat it, is with personal history. For example, if I do something that causes a self injury, that's my personal history. That happened in my personal history. And if I don't learn from that, I'm going to do that same action again and hurt myself again. I think that's the
Been there,
origin
done
of
that.
that phrase is geared towards personal history, not world,
Right.
event history. Because
So
those are two very different
We
things.
can only be responsible for our own personal actions. We can't have no control over the world actions of what everybody else
Exactly.
is doing.
Which is why I think that phrase was initially geared towards personal history and not the current, common attribution to it meaning history in general.
So what you're saying is personal history is something that needs to be learned, so you don't repeat it, like a
Yeah.
little kid sticking a fork in a socket.
Yep, exactly. They learned
But
that that's a bad idea.
But the history of having someone that is compassionate enough to help and overhelp until there's more than damage done.
Yep.
You know, except for the people that just blatantly do it just to see what happens.
Okay. So
Time
here's an
to
example.
shit, doo da doo da.
Let me connect it.
That right there is a absolute. I just wanted to see what would happen.
Here's a broader understanding how the two sides connect. We'll start with Pyle's, fork in the light socket. I'm a kid, or I'm a young adult. In my childhood, I learned about two things. One was my personal history, where I stuck a fork in a light socket and it fucking hurt, and I learned not to do that anymore. The other one was a guy with a really weird mustache wanted to dominate the world. I know about that, but I have no interests whatsoever, or have I ever, in dominating the world. So that history does not affect me on the level to where I would be doomed to repeat it in any way.
You don't have a funny mustache, though.
I mean, right? I could. I mean, I could shave it, But like, that's my point. Like, that phrase cannot apply to everyone the same way it would be if it would just apply to your personal history.
Right.
On a broad spectrum, it doesn't. And again, I never thought this way until I had that teacher, and him talking about all these different layers of that phrase made me realize that that phrase has been being misused, and I have personally misused it my entire life.
So I will tell you something and see if we can understand this one. A guy that I looked up to for many years gave me the best piece of advice, and it operates in my brain so critically ever since he spoke it. And it was, do not chase intelligence. Chase the thought of being less stupider. Because if you chase intelligence, you're going to come to realize that you are stupider in some aspects than someone else. So if you're chasing less stupider, you are going from a level to help yourself, because no one can chase and complete all forms of greatness.
Well, if you chase intelligence, it just keeps evading you. So,
right.
I have two major issues with this conversation. One, I'm a grammar Nazi, and oh my god, I want to kill you right now, my friend.
Just pile it on.
Two-
Pile it on.
Two, I have an obsession with learning. Like, I feel terrible about myself as a human being if I don't at least learn one new thing every day. I've been in college for most of my let's see, I graduated and started college at 16. Okay, so from 16 to now being 42 this year, I've been in college for about for over half of my adult life because I have to learn something, and the most efficient way to do that is to go to school. So that's what I love to learn things. So for me, like I don't think I'm chasing intelligence. I'm chasing knowledge, which I think there's a difference between knowledge and intelligence.
Mhm.
I hope there's a difference.
I do too.
Yeah. I mean, you can be intelligent without having a lot of knowledge, and intelligence can also be a level of common sense.
Right?
Mhm.
Because common sense is a different thing. Like I truly
Wisdom
believe that
being gained from experience. So.
every human being on the planet, I don't care where you're from, whatever, should be forced to, after high school or primary or whatever you call that in whatever country you're in, needs to be forced to have a what's called a secondary education in common sense, where you go to a school for 2 years that has courses that are based on teaching you different forms of common sense before you can even go to college.
Yeah, good luck with that. Most people.
Well, a
will
lot of people don't go to
skip
college, so it would be like it's something enforced.
That
Or
is
screw
why
it. You have common sense class starting in college or starting in middle school. You have common sense class for one of your courses is just common sense.
that's why I have common
People
sense
would
class
skip
with
those
my
classes,
children.
Brad, thinking they don't need it.
Exactly, Jenny.
I'm sorry, Jenny. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You're doing it right, though. You are doing it right by doing that with your children. So many people don't, and it's obvious. Look at the world. It is obvious. Common sense is not often taught by parents or
No, and that's
community
the
leaders.
thing. I hope and pray every single day that my children will outdo me in some aspect of their life. And I hope like heck they have picked up the common sense of don't do this, don't do that, because you'll figure out why you don't. And that's the thing. I want someone said allow your children to do a dangerous act in a safe manner.
So they learn from it.
Somebody once told me
Told me
the world is gonna roll me.
I love that song.
Ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. Anyway, sorry, Paul.
I've been
But no, you're
noticing
right about that.
Go
a
ahead,
lot
Freddie.
of people all over the country are not used to the idea of winter, especially here in the South. And when it starts getting cold, it doesn't occur to them, hey, I need to check what temperature it is. I should put on clothes.
That's one we've talked
And
about a
then
couple
they end up
times lately. Yeah.
walking
Isn't that
for
what
like
got us in trouble
miles in a
yesterday?
shorts and sandals
Yeah.
and wonder why they're cold.
But then you got me who can't feel the
I-
cold, and I go out like that all the time.
I want to. I probably shouldn't pick on her, but my friend Angel, I've mentioned before, she's exactly like that. When I go out in the wintertime, I'm usually wearing several layers of clothes, big old jacket. I'm warm. I'm comfortable. She's freezing. She wants to steal my jacket, and then I end up having to give it to her, and then I'm suffering because she wants to be warm. Because for her, looking good is more important than being
Hey, John.
comfortable.
So this comes into
I
your
love her
lack
to
of
death,
common
but she's funny.
But this plays into your lack of common sense for not always having an extra coat available whenever you're around her.
Yeah,
That was my thought. Why don't you bring an extra jacket?
Yeah.
that should be on her, man, not on me. She's a grown ass adult.
But why are you giving her your jacket if you're going to put it on her?
Bring another one for myself. Fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, if you know she's going to do it every time, how many times are you going to stick your fork in the light socket, sir?
I don't know.
I
kind of like the tingling sensation.
For example, go ahead.
I quite enjoy working with April on different things. just like what you guys said earlier, she was not taught how to do 90% of her adult life
Yep.
by her parents. And as much as I love Lolly, and she knows how much I love her, she does not have the full concept on some of the things that is adulting.
Yep.
My biggest struggle is this whole situation with transportation sometimes of of uh of Ivy. So the question is, why hasn't she gotten her license? And her answer is, I don't know what to do. I don't understand. And I said, you don't understand how to drive, even though you've gotten your permit and you've shown how you can do this? And she goes, no, I don't understand the process of why there has to be a person right beside me that is constantly trying to figure out what I'm doing as I am driving. I
Oh, the
said, that
testing part.
is, yeah. I said, well, that is their job.
Yeah.
And she goes, but I don't understand why. And she just can't get it through her head. And there's been multiple things that I've come to realize through the years that I have had the best parents of teaching me things, and she hasn't. So it's just like trying to figure out where I can teach her. And the thing is, my daughter is picking up on this stuff so fast and so aware. And it's funny because Raven says you take that and you put it in drive, and then you
Yeah.
put your foot on the accelerator, which now makes a concern that now I got to keep the keys away from her. But
I think that's very common in a lot of people. Like, and I blame schools also to a degree for this, not just parents, but I blame schools too. Like, honestly, like these days, kids are coming out of school not knowing a million things they should know. That used to be common stuff for us to learn. They've changed math to some form. I don't even know what the hell I don't even call Common Core math. I don't even know what I would call it now. But there are things in history they don't teach. There's things in English and language arts that they don't teach anymore, like basic stuff. And you're putting out these kids that the only real learning they've had is TikTok. And this is one of the reasons why I don't like TikTok, by the way. Like, legitimately, there's more information on TikTok than any social media I've ever seen in my life. Right down to recipe videos where I cannot tell you how many of these piss me off because Brooke and Michelle have tried to make some stuff off TikTok. I think once it worked out. One of the two times I've seen them actively, like, really do it, it's worked out. The first time is they found out partway through that even though the end of the video showed this perfect meal, oh yeah, we talked about that too. The end of the video shows this perfect meal, but all the steps they give you will not turn into that, no matter how hard you try, because they've left out vital information. And this happens not just with recipe videos, but with lots of stuff. I've
I
seen
like,
car videos where people are changing the oil,
yeah,
and I know how to do something basic, at least like changing oil, and they didn't even mention the oil filter.
right.
It's like, what
I
are you
will tell
doing?
you, there is a woman that I just adore on TikTok, and her whole phrase is, "What you cooking?" And she will go through and she will watch these videos and she will absolutely tell you, who hurt you, child?
Yes.
Don't do that. And the one person was making a chocolate covered steak with
Yeah,
a
I
piece of
know.
steak that was a $300 piece of steak that they stuck it in chocolate that was melted and stuck it in the oven. And she said, do you know at any point what the temperature is that chocolate burns? And you're
Yeah.
trying to get a steak that is not, that is cooked. And she said, no, please don't do this.
Yeah. Now, I
And
will say you could do that in an air fryer. And here's how I know. Because obviously we smoke a lot of marijuana. We also cook with a lot of marijuana. If you heat marijuana up to a certain normal temperature, you burn all the THC out of the marijuana, which makes it entirely pointless. So you have to
right,
cook the low and slow method, right? But
right.
the only way you can even that out completely, your best option is literally an air fryer is the closest utensil we have to create even heating, because even in ovens, unless you've got like $1 million fucking oven, heating is not even in ovens. Trust me. So you could do that in an air fryer with chocolate. You definitely could. It would take a really long time, but she's marinated, like all kinds of meat. She did a roast with wagyu, or however you pronounce it, like a full roast that was literally infused with marijuana, and it took. I mean, roasts already take a while, but this took it was worth the wait, but it took forever. But there's the only kind of TikTok videos that like if I'm scrolling Facebook and one pops up, if it's someone that's commenting on things other people are doing, those I find amusing. There's a big heavy set guy, I don't even know his name or channel, but I see him pop up a lot where he watches all the videos people do like with tools and stuff that they're calling what's the word for the common word for shortcuts, the new word, hacks.
Yeah.
So he watches all these videos involving like tools and like machinery for hacks, and he just sits there. He's like, okay, I could see how you could spend $20 to do this thing that I do for $10 in my shop with a different tool, but okay, sure. Well, that's a hack. We'll go with this. And then the next thing, it's like, dude, you just ruined $50 worth of shit to make a $3 spindle. Like, what are you doing? And it's stuff like that, but like it's their reactions to watching these people like do such stupid things and calling them hacks or whatever.
Mhm.
It's nuts.
Mhm.
It's how YouTube used to be when YouTube first started. Basically, that's what TikTok is right now. YouTube was full of misinformation videos, is what I would call them. Instead of informational videos, they were misinformational videos and all kinds of crazy bullshit. Until YouTube was like, all right, if you're gonna do this, you have to let people know. You have to call it a parody channel. You have to give people input that you don't really know what the fuck you're talking about. Whereas on TikTok, it's still the Wild West all over again for videos.
Well, I
Mhm.
think the reason for that is because TikTok is short form videos, and YouTube is long form videos where you have the ability to explain step by step and put the information in there that you need. But with
But you've
TikTok,
got comments.
you got to
You've got
leave
the
out a
comments.
lot of stuff just so you can fit in that time frame of the video. So, but the problem is that they're not putting a disclaimer in there saying, if you want the rest of the information, go look it up here.
Well,
Or if you
some of
want
them
a
do.
longer
Like
video that explains all of that, go look it up here. So
some of them
now
will
it's
give you links in the comments,
misinformation.
or in the comments they'll explain the steps that they couldn't fit into the video. Some of them do their due diligence and at least do that. It's just that a lot don't. So my only real experience with TikTok
That's the
is
kind of shit that leaves the Mandela effect and glitches in the matrix.
exactly
People
like
get this misinformation, and that's where it's coming from.
the only thing I really understand or know about TikTok. I know like authors are very good with book TikTok or book talk or whatever. I
Mhm.
don't understand any of it. But mostly what I know is misinformational videos, um, weird bullshit things of people just screaming about something that I don't understand, or very inappropriately dressed children lip syncing to the same piece of a song over and over and over to the point where it's the only part of a song that anyone I know has ever even knows. Like Brooklyn, my daughter,
You're right.
when she first started living with us, she would have to put her phone in the freezer section of a Meyer or a Kroger so she could stop and do a TikTok dance to the same song over and over and over again. She would prop it on the back of the license plate and do a video. I started just popping up and back in the videos and ruin them all if I was around just to screw with her. But there was this one about Corvette hopping a motherfucking jet like that or something like that. It was this whole song. But I was like, how does the rest of the song go? And she's like, I don't know. That's the only part of it I know. And she did this with like that song for 6 months straight to us. And she would just repeat it over and over. And that was my initial introduction to what TikTok was and why I disliked it so much as a parent.
Yeah, I didn't have TikTok for the longest time, and then all of a sudden everybody started sending me videos. I was like, you know what? I guess I'm going to download it. That way I can watch. And then I started getting world news through TikTok.
Don't believe it. Don't listen to it.
Well, that's the thing. Some of the stuff was accurate.
Well, there are a lot of news anchors, weather people, things like that. They actually live stream their broadcast straight from their desks, from the
Yeah.
TV studio.
Yeah.
I mean, these are professional people. They're professional
Yeah.
weathermen, professional news anchors, and it's just another way for them to reach out to the audience. Let's say that a television station in New Orleans reaching out to a wider audience, and the news anchors in New Orleans, they just, basically prop their phone up on their desk. They'll do their report, read from their teleprompter and all of that. And then during the commercial breaks, they'll talk to the people on TikTok. I've seen that several times. That's pretty widespread.
How TikTok can be a useful professional tool. I do understand the concept of it, but I'm old and TikTok should get the fuck off my lawn. That's all I'm saying. I guess that's what it boils down
That is why I take care of TikTok for you.
Yes. So I did create my own TikTok. It's never been on my phone. I created it on my desktop, where you're inundated with a lot less stuff on the desktop version, a lot less stuff than you are the app. Because I was doing stuff with a group called Rotten, ROTN, for a while, and a lot of what they do and still do, it's pretty awesome on TikTok. And my TikTok, I'm pretty sure, probably still follows that stuff.
Here's a real glitch in the matrix for you, Raz.
But I never used it. I've never made a video myself and posted it. I've never done I just never did anything with it until I handed it to Jenny.
Here's a real glitch in the matrix for you, Raz. All right, this one, maybe you can wrap your head around this one, because I can't really understand it myself. The fact that I'm older than all of you, yet I'm younger than all of you.
I could see that in a lot of ways. I can definitely see that in a lot of ways. I'm mostly
except maybe Jenny. Jenny's definitely younger than me.
Jenny's our second youngest, I think, in the network.
Because
if we're counting Matt's the youngest.
Are we talking mentality or are we talking age?
Yes.
Actual age, because Matt is 20. Yeah, Matt's 20 now. So technically, although he's coming back as a host, by the way, for the 24-hour show. I should mention that now. Yeah. Matt's and Monsters is coming back with an all-new season 2 during the 24-hour show. So if you like the wrestling show that we used to do, we did a couple episodes of, we're going to be doing an all-new one.
Pyle, I'm talking both. Age-wise, I'm older than all of you. Mentality-wise, I'm younger than all of you. Except maybe Jenny.
So I'm going to give you a piece of advice from my grandfather. As he sat there when I was in a really young age, sitting there drunk and drinking a beer. If you turn 50 and you have not grown up,
you don't have to.
You don't have to grow up. And I looked at him, I said, what? So every time I see him, he asks me, as now he is silver and still on the wagon, thank God. He looks at me and goes, have you grown up? Hell no. And that's my whole mentality. I'm not going to grow up. And I'm sorry I sound like crap. I think I'm starting to fight a sinus infection.
Well, I guess I don't have to grow up then.
What's that? I sound like crap?
You do. I can say you're congested, but I'm congested, so it's good. My grandma always used to tell me to never be afraid of getting old because it's the best thing that ever happened to her. I'm like, what do you mean? And we were in a store, and she literally looks at me right in the eyes, and she's like, you need an example? I'm like, yeah. She's like, watch this. A crowded store. My grandma hollers out, I just shit myself, and looks around the store. And people start to look at her for a second and then kind of look away because they realize she's older. She's like, you see what I mean? Now you try it. Hey, Mariah. She's like, now you try it. I was like, well, I'm not going to do it right this moment because you just did. She's like, all right, let's go to a different store and try this out. So we left. She abandoned her shopping cart, which was like, we'd been shopping for like 40 minutes. So she abandoned the whole shopping cart, gets me in the car, goes to a different store, like a 20-minute drive away. We start shopping again for the same shit. She's like, all right, now go for it. So I loudly shouted, I just shit myself. And people are like looking at me and kind of laughing and like, making fun of me a little bit. She's like, what was the difference? I was like, well, they didn't make fun of you. She's like, I know. Isn't it great? And we just kept shopping and finished and went home.
It's kind of like that guy that goes and pushes his grandma around. And he's like, Grandma, did you think it was a good idea to sleep with my teacher? And she goes, well, he was there. And just everybody's just looking at her like, oh my gosh, no one wants to say anything to her.
I feel like there's so much context in this story that I don't have.
Yeah, same. Wonderful. I don't know where he's going with it, but okay.
No, it's a video.
Saying random shit.
It's a video. That's what they do. They film the reaction by people and
Oh.
people just look at them and they're like,
Oh, so it's not a real
understand
story.
it.
They just make shit up for the videos and
Yeah.
okay. Okay, I get you.
All right,
That
so
makes
there's
sense.
the context we didn't get.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
Oh,
that
I'm
makes sense.
sorry.
Here's a story from my actual childhood. This is from my own life. It's not Mandela Effect. It's not even a glitch in the Matrix. I
Oh,
wish I
you
could say
said the
it was.
word. We have to play the short smile.
Yeah, short smile. When I was a kid, my father would come into my room every morning, open my door, and say, "It's time to get up. Get ready for school." 6 a.m. Then he would go in, he'd turn on the news, he'd go make his coffee. I would lay in bed for about another 10, 15 minutes or so, however long I could get away with. My dad would come back in a couple minutes later. I wasn't up, and he'd say, "I'm not going to tell you again." That meant it was time to get up. So I got up. Now, my father watched the news every morning. I like to watch cartoons. I mean, what do you expect? I'm a kid. I like to watch cartoons before I go to school. I'll eat my cereal. I mean, give me a
I
break,
like
okay?
watching them
Fine.
now.
And I never got to watch cartoons in the morning because Dad was always watching the news. And this always kind of irked me. And I thought, as long as I live, never gonna grow up, I'm gonna watch cartoons in the morning. And I planned on living by that. Now I've grown up. Now I get up in the morning and I turn on the damn news because I want to know what the weather is and what I'm going to have to deal with when I ride my fucking bike into work every morning to go to work. And I realize, shit, I've become my dad. But to be fair, and this might be a nostalgia thing, but the cartoons that they have out today suck compared to the cartoons that they had when I was a kid. So I don't feel so bad about it. But I
They no
understand
longer
my dad a little bit more now. It
they
makes
no
sense.
longer have
Go
they
ahead,
no longer
Freddie.
have Transformers on in the morning, and that makes me sad.
That's true. They don't.
I will tell you, if you ever came over to my house, you'd sit on the couch and you'd come to realize that we don't do news.
Yeah, we don't do
People will let news go and they'll talk to us about the news. And it's like, did you hear this? Nope. Did you hear this? Nope. And it's like, okay, I guess I scrolled through Facebook and seen something, but I really don't care because it doesn't exactly affect me.
Right.
Then I turn around and somebody's like, well, what do you do when you get home? And it's like, well, there's a thing called Crunchyroll. And everybody's like, well, what's Crunchyroll? It's like, I don't have to grow up because Crunchyroll's there. Now, there are so many shows I watch, even off of Netflix and this and that, but I'm not in a sense that I am.
Come on, mascot.
Yeah, I'm messed up in the head of that aspect. I don't watch the news. I don't want to know about all this sad stuff. I don't want to read the newspaper. And in fact, somebody ever want to know how I am, I'll only tell you. It's not like I'm going to post on Facebook about everything. I am so in tune with my kids and how they play and how they have fun. And that's what I want them to do is play, have fun, and understand.
Right.
Versus this whole thing of you need to grow up, you need to understand. Now, I do encourage my kids to do something I call think 3 steps in advance. But
Yeah.
that's not growing up as much as that's survival.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So the rest of what you kind of missed, because now we finally actually hit that 2 hour mark.
Yeah, I was about to say that we made the 2 hour mark.
Yeah, what we learned was that more or less Mandela effects.
I like the
Worse.
awkward one better.
Oh yeah, hold on. What was that one again?
Awkward.
Yep.
There
Yep.
it is.
Awkward one. So basically, Mandela effects were a series of people just remembering shit. Their brains glitching out, or being high, or drunk, or just generally just altogether misremembering something. And
Getting a smell.
yeah, so Mandela effect isn't really a like some kind of like paranormal or supernatural or whatever like effect because we've switched dimensions. It's based on just the human condition and humans not wanting to admit it. That's what we kind of came to terms with there. And then we learned that glitches in the matrix were because of well, go back and listen to Ron's explanation about how our brains are like biological computers basically, because that was actually a really good explanation. And I think we need to pull a clip of that for TikTok. Because
Yes.
Oh, that'd be
the
great.
TikTok thing that would be awesome
be
to do
great.
for the show. Looking at you,
Right.
TikTok lady.
Well, if
I
you're
got
going,
it.
if you're going to watch back the replay of this video, which everybody should, because why not? Good way to kill 2 hours if you're sitting at work like I do at a desk. If you're going to go back and watch the video, you'll hear my explanation on how I think that the Mandela effect and glitch in the matrix are related. But for those of you that aren't going to go back and watch the replay of this video, basically, here's the recap. Here's the summary. Okay, I think that the Mandela effect and glitch in the matrix is related because something was one way first, and then there was a glitch in the matrix that changed it. And the Mandela effect is caused by people remembering what it was the original way before the glitch. And that's why it's no longer that way.
Right. But the common term of glitch in the matrix or seeing behind the curtain. Also, there was an older one called piercing the veil, which is sometimes still in use. I forgot to mention earlier. Seeing beyond the veil. Those are just catch-all things for when people think something weird happens. They just throw it in that broad general category these days about, oh, that was a glitch in the matrix, when it was really a deja vu or a haunting or something else entirely. It's just people not knowing any better and, oh, that's what this must mean. So this is what I'm going to call it.
No, I say that we can close out the show since we've recapped everything and explained everything. With one other thing that I wanted to say, which I thought I would hold until the end of the show because I thought it was pretty interesting. We're sponsored by Deadly Grounds Coffee, and it has been my intention to order some Deadly Grounds coffee in support of the show and in support of the sponsors. Today, I was going back through photos on my phone looking for a specific one, and I happened to come across a photo of a bag of Deadly Grounds coffee. I had forgotten that I had ordered a while back, and it was the Dragula roast.
Okay.
And I was just like, I forgot about that, and then I remembered it because I had the opportunity to meet Butch Patrick at Transworld.
Yeah, Eddie Munster.
And he endorsed Deadly Grounds coffee at one point, and they had that Dragula roast that was based on the Munsters Dragula, with Grandpa and the Dragula. And I had ordered it for that reason, and I had completely forgotten about it. So I actually have had Deadly Grounds coffee before.
And that, my friends, is not a glitch in the matrix.
Good
stuff. That is self-fulfilling prophecy.
So, Deadly Grounds Coffee, thank you so much for sponsoring us. I'm a firm believer in your product, and I will be ordering more.
Definitely. And as Father Evil always says, Raz and shine. And again, that's my own. Hold on, gotta find it again. That's my own Mandela effect. He really says rise and shine, but I like to think differently.
I don't know. I like Raz and shine.
Yeah.
Kind of like when somebody says pile, I think it's about me, and I come to realize it's just a
monster
lump of dirt.
Yeah, a monster.
A pile of shit, a monster.
A monster.
But all right, guys.
All right.
What's today? Today is Monday. The next time you will see some of us is Thursday for another D&D show. So you'll see me and Jenny and our other friends on that one. And then after that, guys, it's gonna be that 24-hour show. That long ass show that's gonna start at 7 p.m. Eastern on Friday and go to 7 p.m. Eastern or later because we can't tell time on Saturday. And then we're probably gonna take Sunday off because fuck, we're gonna be looking at each other and you guys for 24 hours. Give us a break. We might even I don't know about Monday yet. We'll figure Monday out. But we'll see which of us are alive, because I know Jenny and I are probably going to be the only ones like shooting for the full 24 for the most part, other than kid things and like bathroom breaks and things like that. But so yeah, we're probably going to be dead. But we'll see how things go.
I'm planning on jumping in, even though I might be at a middle of a little kid's birthday party. So if that's the case, you might have a balloon attached to me.
I mean, what you do with your balloons in the privacy of your own home, buddy?
Oh no! This is over at my sister's house. It's my niece's birthday party. She's turning 4, and I totally forgot about it.
I'm just saying, don't get it shut down today. Don't get it shut down today.
Right. We haven't had any warnings up to this point, as far as I know. So.
And speaking of, we did get shut down in the last episode. The issue was we were cited for nudity when there was none of that on our show whatsoever.
I'm trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, and it struck us so strangely. That's why we kind of ended up ending the episode. 'Cause while we were still streaming to Twitch and to YouTube, we were also shocked. We didn't know how to handle what was going on. So the
only thing I can think of is it might have been pinpointing on my bald head, and that's about it.
But we do have a plan for that for the 24-hour. Don't worry. If we need to switch to different streams, we'll update you guys entirely. If we need to turn the stream off and we turn it back on, we can. Otherwise, as long as we're still going on Twitch and or YouTube, we'll just put those links back up on our Facebook so you guys can go there instead of from the actual Facebook channel. So that is our emergency plan for the 24-hour show. No matter what, we will be streaming somewhere and you will know how to find us.
I will not be here Thursday night for your D&D game. Enjoy, you guys. I already have plans for that night. I'm actually going out, believe it or not. Not surprised. I'm away from the computer for a moment. And then I will be here Friday night for the first part of it, probably about 7 to midnight-ish or so. Let's see how it goes.
Yep. We will have a schedule coming out, guys, so you guys at home know, like, if you have favorite shows of ours, like when to tune in for different segments. We've kind of got it as planned out as the best we can. I know at some point in time, for about like a 2.5, 3 hour block, Dell is going to do a full reading of, I think it's
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland. So we're doing all kinds of cool stuff. You will see an episode of every one of our shows. We're bringing back Mats and Monsters. We're doing all kinds of little fun stuff in between. Every hour on the hour giveaway, a combination giveaway from Chainers, Field of Screams, and Hell's Dungeon, Haunted Attractions, where you'll get tickets to come to see for just the haunt portion for our Valentine's Day show. But Chainers is tossing in these really awesome. Do you want to show it to them what it is? Because I mean, I can tell you tickets, but I can't really show you the tickets because they're tickets. But, yeah, they need to see what you got to understand why this is a cross promotional haunt thing.
So, what these truly are targets, but they're really awesome targets. And you know what?
Yeah, I can see it there.
Just raise it up a little bit where it's at. You're off screen a little bit. Up more.
I can see there.
Now move it back.
Let me turn off this background.
Okay.
Yeah.
That way everybody can see that where I'm located and everything.
In the basement, just like
so. These are actual targets that anybody that wants to use them, they're actual flake off targets. We have this one, which is the wolf. We have the zombie boar.
That's my favorite.
And then we have the zombie vulture,
they're all awesome.
And honestly, the reason that we're doing it every hour is because I have such a stack of these from our haunt. And when I say stack, I mean that's not even half of them.
Right. So every on the hour, and the way you get this is you've got to be in the area. You've got to be able to come and travel to, Dayton, Ohio, to come and, use your ticket to come see the haunts, which is also where you'll be going up at admissions if you've won this, which is where you'll also get the target. So it's like a package deal. You've got to come and pick them up. They're not going to be shipped to you. It's going to be one of those random things that we do for people that live kind of in the tri-state or people that want to travel for this. It'll be the only gift that's dependent, or only giveaway that I know of that's dependent on you physically coming to a location. All the rest will be ebooks, physical books that'll be sent to you, comics that'll be sent to you, Mothman keychains, really cool stuff.
Everybody's liked Monty so much that my friends at Wicked FX has made little Monties, and I have 5 of these that actually have keychain, and I like it hanging here, but honestly, if I lose him because somebody wins him, I'm okay with that.
So yeah, he's going to be giving 5 of those away also, because we've got so many prizes coming from so many awesome people for this whole 24-hour things, and we need you guys to respond. We need you to get out there. We're going to have a spot for you guys to make donations. The donations are going to help us keep the lights on here at the network. There are subscription fees for different services that we've got to pay for that have been coming out of pocket since we started the show, and that's just kind of how podcasting is. So if you like our content and you want us to give away more prizes in the future, because a big chunk of the money is going to go to us giving away more free shit in later shows, because that also comes out of our pockets. Even a lot of the authors that give away their books, a lot of times we are actually purchasing those books from the authors to support them, and then turn around and giving them to you for free and paying shipping. So all these things are accounted for in how we're doing this. We're being very, above board on what every penny goes to, and we'll let you know. And if there's enough left over, we'd like to get out there into the public and try to get some of us together at different conventions to kind of say hi and maybe do some live storytelling in person with a group of people or what have you. Just, we want to see how far we can take the show this year, and we need your help.
Yep.
And
So
honestly,
money just goes back in making the show better and bigger, and
nothing will be put in anyone's pocket. I can promise you that.
And honestly, me and Raz has already talked about going out to some conventions or different stuff and just hanging out and just seeing how stuff are.
Come out with Ron recently too. Yeah.
If you happen to see us, feel free to. I'm okay with you coming up.
Wait, what?
We got to get some shirts.
If you happen to see me, honestly, I'm okay with you coming up. I don't care. I'll talk to you. I'll be more than happy. I know it's not like I'm a superstar or anything like that, but if you just want to come and say, hey, I like what you guys do, we like to hear that.
Yeah. And another way you guys can support us is people keep forgetting this, but we do have a merch store for shirts. We do have t-shirts. Like it's up on our web. We have an actual website, guys. But you can find out, we do have some merch out there, but more merch is something we want to do in the future. Like there's all kinds of stuff we want. We want to be able to do in the future with merchandise and things like that. I know we've got a heat press and a Cricut machine and all kinds of stuff here at my home. Like I can even print on shoes over here at the house. So there's all kinds of things we can do in the future, but we need your support. So give us all your monies.
Once my book releases, I do plan on making the cover into a t-shirt.
See? And I'm about to do the same thing for a lot of mine. Yep.
Another thing.
So give us your monies. We know you got a car payment. Just give it to us. It's cool. No worries.
Yeah.
House payment. But yeah, that's all we've got for Legends by Night, and we're gonna go through our normal phase of Pyle. Where can we find you? Because you have to be the first person I asked.
Oh, that's nice. Well, you can find me on Facebook. I start doing a lot on TikTok. You can always find me here on the Elliott Network, popping in. And if I don't get rid of the sinus, you might just see me at the hospital.
Yep. So say hi. Just walk right into his room and be like, "It's Pyle from Elliott Network," and he'll be like, "Yeah."
You know it. If you come in, please, no photographs. Then
no photos free, please. I can't speak today. Apparently, I'm gonna blame the. It was the Mandela effect. that happened right as you raised your eyebrows. The whole sound effect. We need a clip of that too.
Where do we find
it's my turn now.
Yeah, it's your turn.
my big ugly mug on screen.
Where can we find you?
Yes, this is my opportunity to plug my new book that's coming out. It's called Inside My Nightmares. It will be released February 15th, and I will actually be doing a podcast with Jenny for Unprinted Pages where she will be interviewing me about
Yay!
it and the writing process and all kinds of fun stuff and learning more about who this crazy character Ronald W Gillespie is. What the hell is up with that? Where you can find me, I do have an author page on Facebook now. It's Ronald W Gillespie Jr. -author, as opposed to my personal page. I suppose you could hit me up there if you want, but if I don't know who you are, I'm probably not going to accept a friend request. But hey, you never know. You can try. Say, hey, I saw you on Outlight Network, and you're my favorite out of all of the people that go up there. And flattery will get you everywhere. So you can also find me on TikTok under @WolfDojo because I am a professional martial arts instructor. Believe it or not, I know you can tell by this dad bod of mine that I do martial arts. And also here on YouTube, although I do not update the YouTube as much as I should, it's also @WolfDojo here on YouTube if you like martial arts content. But I tend to be on TikTok more than doing YouTube, but you can find me at both places. I'm already in the process of working on a second book. So
Yay!
we don't know when that will be out. Maybe a year from now, next February. That's the plan at this point. And I also want to take a moment to plug the Buckeye Lake Pirate Festival coming up on Saturday, May 18th. It's going to be in Buckeye Lake, Ohio. We've got about 40 businesses around the lake that are going to be participating with us. We're going to have a pirate treasure hunt. There's going to be treasure chests located throughout Buckeye Lake, and you have to find them. And they will be loaded with money and prizes and pirate swag and all kinds of stuff that the businesses are going to throw in. At least $100 in each chest. There's a QR code on the inside of the chest. You scan it, and it enters you into a lottery to win that particular chest. The more chests you find, the better your chances of winning. It's Saturday, May 18th. So if you're in anywhere around Buckeye Lake, Ohio, or the tri-state area, please come out and support us. The theme is pirates and steampunk and mermaids and all things nautical. And we really want to see you there. You can come find me. I'll be dressed as a pirate. We have a trade show floor with a bunch of vendors selling crazy stuff. It's going to be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope to see you there. Please come support us, Buckeye Lake Pirates. You can find us on Facebook. I know that was long-winded, but there's so much to plug because so much is happening.
I have a question about this event.
It's something you wish. Come find Rod, and he'll flop on the deck like a fish.
So here's my question for you about the event. Is it family-friendly or is it rated R?
It is family-friendly, believe it or not.
But that's not the favorite letter. The C is where his heart lays.
Yep. C's and R's.
It is a family-friendly event. So bring your kids, have them dress as pirates. There will be many opportunities for photo ops with all of the pirates. We do actually have a professional pirate group coming down from Michigan.
Very cool.
And we will have the world's largest RV. It will be decorated like a pirate ship. And it's going to have all of the masts and the sails and everything. It's going to be very cool.
And in true pirate fashion, I'm going to steal it and sail away.
I mean, good luck with that.
I can't drive an RV. I'd wreck it the second I try to use the, I would wreck it in like 2 seconds. I can't drive that. Okay, so here's something I've learned. You can find me in all of you because Raz was inside of you all along.
Now I need a shower.
And that's where you can find me. I'm good.
I don't remember that happening.
Neither do I. But again, we've established that I've done a lot of substances in my life, so anything is possible. Because it's all a Mandela effect, and whether that's true or not.
That was the sound it made when he was, in all of you.
Yes, it was.
I can't tell if I've got a headache from the sinuses or I've got a headache from Raz being in all of us.
Ooh. I need a shower now.
Oh, you would know.
Okay, if we're plugging books, please go check out State of Mind by Jennifer Elliott. That is my book, but otherwise, you can find me on Howlite. I see this dork seems to have joined the dorkening. I'm on Fakehor. Technically, if you talk to Raz on any of his socials, you're talking to me.
Mhm.
And also, if you actually really do want to talk to me, I'm under Friday's Library in the Blue Box. My reading group is Friday's Disorganized Library, and my actual author page is Jennifer Elliott. So yeah, I'd love to see you and talk to you either way. I may pretend I'm Raz or Dell when we do it, but
I love
hey,
that button. I heard plugging in when we do it in the same like spiel, and my phrasing
yeah,
bar got set high with piling his pleasure in that meeting earlier on.
Oh,
yes,
We're plugging in all of you.
Yes.
yes,
And this is
oh
definitely
yes,
where I remind you to spay and neuter all your friends, because we've just learned something very important, and there's a real fear that I could populate the earth now.
Like
I
the
have accomplished
xenomorphs.
that.
Yes.
you have a couple what?
I have accomplished the spade part. That took 5 years. It sucked.
Oh, I thought she
These are
said
my
I have a couple friends, and I was like,
achievement unlocked. But yeah, I have friends and I have accomplished the spade part. But either way, good night, everybody.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
And don't forget to